Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Learn About Port Wine. This is another video in our ongoing series of the cellar tours in Gaia. It is 2 days after the big electrical outage in Spain and Portugal. We lost power for about 9 hours, and now it just went out again about an hour ago. So I figured I'd at least try to get this done. Today we are talking about Rozés. They are a small producer, but they make some really amazing wines. We're going to jump right in. So the criteria for the review and the rating are in the description below. Online ticketing and booking. Unfortunately, they do not have any online system for scheduling or purchasing tickets, but their contact information is listed and you can contact them either by phone or email. I sent an email request with the number of people in our group, a day we preferred, and they got back to me within a few hours, and we were able to set it up. It was very simple to do. Their website does list information about the tour, and there is one standard tour available for 12 euros per person. Overall tour. So first thing, location-wise, this is very far from the beaten path of all of the other cellars down at the Gaia waterfront. It is up the mountain and actually on the other side of the railroad tracks. And it is a very good idea to either take an Uber or a taxi, or if you're taking the train, you can stop at Devesa station, and it's a very short walk from there. But it's a bit of a hike from Lower Gaia, so just keep that in mind. There are two main entrances there. One takes you into like the business offices, and then from there they will redirect you to the cellar door, which is on the same street and just a little bit further down. By comparison, this is a very small tour, and they are like I said, they're a small producer. But they really work well with what they have. And one of the greatest assets on this tour was our tour guide. She was absolutely amazing. So I was there with two Portuguese friends, and she was bouncing back and forth between English and Portuguese, and she really enjoys her job. She's really, really good at it. And she's a great asset to the team there. Even though the tour may be small, you still get all the information you need about the growing of the grapes down in the Douro, about the Quinta properties that they own, and the harvest, how ports are made, how they are aged, the differences between the rubies and the tawnies and the whites. Everything you need to know, they're going to tell you about it. While this tour isn't on scale with like the Sandemans and the Coburns, it's got a really nice, cozy feel to it. And the location itself, it's old and dusty, and it's got that great smell to it. And it's a really cool environment. So after we visited the different areas of the cellars, it was then time to move into the tasting room. So they do not have a separate premium tasting room. However, again, small producer making the most of what they have. They have a really nice tasting room set up. It's got that same cozy kind of cellar feel to it. Very comfortable, very inviting. And that's where we did our tasting, led by our guide. The tour plus the tasting costs 12 euros per person, and that includes 2 wines, a ruby, and a slightly aged white. I believe it was a 4-year aged white. They did have other wines available to taste. Unfortunately, it was a pretty small list. There were some of their wines that I would really have liked to try, but they just weren't available. What we were able to do is we purchased a glass of the LBV, a 10-year tawny, and a 20-year tawny. They were really enjoyable wines, especially the 20-year tawny. It's a really nice wine, really good statement of age, and just a really very, very enjoyable wine. Overall experience and feel. This is a nice tour. Yes, it's smaller by comparison, but they really do well with what they have, and it's really a great atmosphere in the cellars. Pros and cons. Our number one pro was our tour guide. She was just so much fun, and it added a lot to the experience. Yes, we tasted some great wines, and yes, I would definitely go back there again. But she really made it a very special outing. Cons. I think the only con for me was the limited number of additional tastings available. They make a lot of great wine, and I would love to have sampled more of it, but it just wasn't available by the glass, and I think that's a missed opportunity on their part. Rating. While they don't have all the trappings of the big houses, this is a really nice tour, and it's very easy for me to recommend this to add to your itinerary, especially if you're here on a multi-day itinerary and you can hit one of the big houses, hit a place like this, and I think it's a really good comparison to look at the different players involved in the port wine market. As always, thanks so much for watching. Continue to comment. I love seeing the comments. And like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and I will see you next time on another episode of